Today, the Justice Department is opening a civil investigation into the Louisville Jefferson County Metro Government and the Louisville Metro Police Department to determine whether LMPD engages in a pattern or practice of violations of the Constitution or federal law.
Looks like some justice for Breonna Taylor may be on the docket after all. Welcome into TYT Overruled. I'm attorney Adrienne Lawrence. As DOJ just announced today, it's opening a sweeping probe of the Louisville, Kentucky Police Department. This is that same department that killed 26-year-old Breonna Taylor as she slept in her home in March 2020 while it was executing a no-knock warrant. Here's what Attorney General Merrick Garland had to say that this investigation would be focusing on.
The investigation will assess whether LMPD engages in a pattern or practice of using unreasonable force, including with respect to people involved in peaceful, expressive activities. It will determine whether LMPD engages in unconstitutional stops, searches, and seizures, as well as whether the department unlawfully executes search warrants on private homes.
Well, I guess this officer may want to hold up on writing his book for a bit, because Breonna Taylor's story sure does not seem to be over. The probe will also look at the officers' training, how they're held accountable, and determine whether they discriminate based on race. The city of Louisville is 24% black, but black people represent over 50% of those who are arrested by the department. That really says a lot here. And that info is actually publicly available. And that is something because DOJ decided to do this investigation because of publicly available data. Essentially, these things out here that already signal to us that they got a problem, DOJ is now acting on it. That being said, this investigation of Louisville PD is the second sweeping probe into a law enforcement agency by the Biden administration in a week. It was the Twin Cities that got the probe announcement last week after a Minneapolis jury gave Derek Chauvin the business. Although these are only two police departments that'll be examined by the feds, it's kind of a big deal because DOJ is going to be allocating resources and holding these departments under the microscope. But this is what the feds are supposed to do, be a check on the state system.
The Justice Department is also charged with ensuring that the constitutional and federal statutory rights of all people are protected. As I explained last week, Congress has authorized the department to conduct pattern or practice investigations to help it fulfill that responsibility.
At the end of the day, accountability is essential to keeping us safe. We can't have individuals out here acting above the law under color of law. The Department of Justice is just positioned better to provide us with the transparency we need to hold individuals accountable. So you may be asking, what happens if DOJ finds dirt? Well, if it turns out that Louisville PD is out here breaking the law, infringing on civil rights, or doing this pattern and practice of nonsense, then DOJ will try to come to an agreement with the department to fix its mess. What if Louisville PD refuses to act right? Well, listen to Merrick.
The Justice Department has the authority to bring a civil lawsuit seeking injunctive relief to address the violations.
Translation, we're going to come for your coins. DOJ will look to sue the Louisville Police Department for money. Now, of course, given that the city's already paid out millions in settlements for officers who's killed citizens or committed civil rights violations, it's hard to believe Louisville will be that motivated to change based on the thought that it could lose some money. But hey, you never know. The thing that we need is change. Breonna Taylor deserved change. Let's at least put in the effort to make sure that this does not happen again.